One of the highlights of the year for adult fans of LEGO usually is the newest modular building, and in 2022, to celebrate the 15 years of the modular buildings collection, LEGO will be releasing the Boutique Hotel. And I gotta say guys, I've personally never been the biggest modular buildings fan, but this one right here is absolutely beautiful. I dare say, the best looking modular building LEGO has ever done. First of all, it is a corner building, which out of the gate makes it a far more interesting building to look at from different angles, as opposed to the flat facades most modulars have. Now, past corner modulars have been symmetrical in their basic shapes, but the Boutique Hotel is nothing like that, which made it an incredible building experience, something that I value very highly when building a LEGO set. Just seeing the weird angles of the walls taking shape and perfectly aligning in the end kinda makes you forget that LEGO is mostly made of square bricks, but this will be easier to see when I start removing the floors. Something that really stood out when I opened the box were a few bags filled with lots of bricks in this fairly new flash LEGO color. There's about 250 elements of it in the set, and together with the sand green at the top of the building and the nougat shade at the bottom floor makes the building really stand out, but in a very balanced way and not downtown diner close your eyes kind of way. The bright shades of blue at El Cubo are a bit much, but not too much to distract you from the main building. El Cubo, by the way, that translates from Spanish to the cube, is a funny and fitting name, as you know LEGO is basically square and cubes. The sign itself is a new printed element, as is the case with all decorations with the set. We can have a look inside by removing the bar at the top to reveal the gallery's cubist art pieces. The space is very crammed inside, but it is possible to remove some of the elements. This one is a nod to the old Creator Expert logo, and my favorite has to be this Mondrian painting. The black bust here is made by the same artist who carved the white bust in the lobby of the Town Hall set, as mentioned in the instruction booklet, and you need to keep an eye out when building the Boutique Hotel, as there are Easter eggs about previous modular buildings all over the place, like this bulletin board outside that leads to the bar upstairs, with what I believe mentions to the Parisian restaurant, greengrocer, detective's office ×2, pet shop and downtown diner ×2. We have a beautiful decorated iron gate that leads to the bar, and my favorite detail has to be the use of the broken eggshell element for the texture of the palm tree trunk. The hotel lobby, contrary to the art gallery, has plenty of space, and if I can be honest, it has a bit too much space. I think it could have used an extra object somewhere. The floor tiling is nice, and there's a bunch of jumper plates so you can pose your minifigures. I quite like the dark red couch over here, and the flower vase is also a nice build. There's obviously the counter with the classic phone, an element that I'm assuming represents the typical hotel bell, and 4 keys at the back, though the place only has 3 rooms to rent. The stairs that lead to the first floor have a nice railing finished by a minifig whip element, which I found very clever. The first floor has 2 of the bedrooms the hotel has to offer. The budget one is small with clever builds all over the place, with the chair by the desk and the bedside table being my favorites. This room does have a balcony with nice railing details built out of black handcuff elements, and the shapes around the windows with this combination of a fairly new kind of slope and a car mudguard element at the top with the new flesh color shade looks really good. The second room has a lot more space and is overall better furnished, with a closet at the entrance, a desk complete with a typewriter and classic lamp, the nice sand green bed, and a couch by the bay window, done with fairly new bay window elements in brown. No bathrooms for these bedrooms though, so I hope the prices are cheap. If you have lots of LEGO money, you can rent the Master Suite, and you have the whole floor for yourself. The dresser featuring the pneumatic T's in black as drawer handles is brilliant. The black couch by the master bed might look relatively simple, but it was a very unorthodox and fun build. The lamps on the bedside tables making use of a cupcake element are also fun, and you also get chocolate waiting for you as a gift from the hotel. The old style TV with a printed window pane as the black and white image is a neat detail, and I think you get the point. These mini builds are fantastic and a good way of breaking up the not so interesting wall building that a set like this usually involves. Since you paid a bit extra, there's a private bathroom to use, fully furnished, where I'd like to highlight the nice mirror print and a neat bathtub. This floor also has balcony access, and the subtle sand green shapes of the outside wall / copper roofing, together with the white detailing of the windows, makes this my favorite floor of them all. It isn't overly detailed as I sometimes feel about some modulars, it has just the perfect amount of detail which makes it beautiful in my opinion. The white mudguard elements used in the windows look great from the outside, but not so great on the inside as it feels a bit out of place. The roof features a rounded structure that matches the second floor in a very nice way, with a nice combination of yet a few more sand green elements. There's also a skylight. I quite like how they disguise utilize the hinge plates to secure the weird angles of the roof as some sort of ventilation system, and the last detail is the black railing, making use of a fairly new type of Lego bar and lots of black snake elements. I don't understand, however, why the railing was not continued on this side, because if this modular is placed next to another building with lower walls, it will feel awkward, I think. The back of the hotel is a bit plain, as is the case with most modular buildings. You'll find the standard connection point that you use to connect these to other modular buildings, and it's quite interesting that one of the connection points is in this dumpster over here, which has a white croissant inside, a cool Easter egg that relates to the Parisian restaurant modular. I don't have any modular buildings built at the moment, but this is what this looks like connected to the Daily Bugle. There's also two smaller builds to this set, a simple luggage cart for the hotel staff to use and a coffee cart, a direct reference to Cafe Corner, the original modular building, as it has matching colors in the awning and coffee mugs. The cart is run by this guy over here, a fairly common minifigure, although the face print feels new. There's a staff of 2 in the hotel featuring a new and nicely detailed torso. There's also 3 civilians, the accountant, which again feels like a somewhat common minifigure, the so-called globetrotter complete with a parasol and lime green luggage, and the backpacker with a cool looking hairpiece. These last 2 minifigures have a secondary face print. The final minifigure feels artsy enough to be the art gallery owner, although no mention to her in specific is made in the instruction booklet. Like I said previously, I'm not the biggest modular buildings fan, maybe because the last one I built was the corner garage, which I felt to be a bit lackluster, and after that, even though there's been some very nice looking modular releases, I kinda stayed away from the theme. But honestly, after building this one, my interest for the range has been rekindled. I dare say this is the best looking modular Lego has ever made up until this point. The overall shape is super interesting and fun to build. The color choices are very balanced, with the added bonus of having lots of the new flash color. It has the right amount of detailing on the outside, which personally oftentimes with modular buildings feels a bit much, and all the mini builds inside were very interesting and featured a lot of unexpected building techniques. The Lego Boutique Hotel will be available from lego.com January 1st, and I personally feel that you should totally get it. It will be a no-brainer for people who already collect modular buildings, but if you've never built one, this is the one to get you started. Though be warned, people who dive into modular buildings usually can't stop until they have them all. Hope you enjoyed the video and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.